Hi, everybody. It's Christina Moreland, your Fit Mom coach. And I have a client who asked me to do a menu review for her. I'm doing an intro right now. And just so you guys know, I'm just going to put this in context. We aim for our calories from fat to be under 20% fat by calories. Okay. So there's certain proteins or certain foods that are well above that. But learning how to enjoy your family, your friends, and have social gatherings and ordering at a restaurant is part of my core values that I strive to teach my clients, which is balance and enjoying your life. So having this kind of information, learning how to order at a restaurant and stay on track is really supportive and on point with everything that my client is looking for. So I hope that you find this interview really informative, and this is just something that I provided for her. This is something that I'm happy to do for any of my clients, but learning the skill of ordering out and staying on track and ordering leaner foods is definitely kind of a fit mom secret, if you will. It's part of our skill set that we strive to maintain and also to maintain balance throughout our life. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hi, Lynn. I'm going to do the BJ's menu review for you as requested. And I pulled it up on my screen. First of all, when I first log into their menu, it took several links to get to this point, and it's not presented in a typical menu format. So I can see how this might be intimidating when you first look at it and you're kind of overwhelmed with options. Okay, so meal deals, soups and salads, which we might be tempted to go in this direction with the soups and salads, but I'm actually not going to start there, and I'll tell you why in a second. Pizzas, if you're trying to stay on plan with Fit Mom Method, we're not going to look in there. We're not going to look in pastas. We're not going to look in burgers or tacos. So I'm actually going to go to the specialty entrees section first, and we're going to explore that. And again, it's not presented in a traditional format setting, so it is a little bit intimidating. Now, I only get 5 minutes per video, so I'm probably going to do this in 2 videos because I'm going to take my time and I want to walk you through why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. The Atlantic salmon actually looks like a pretty good option. But just so you know, salmon is over 40% fat by calories. It is a super healthy food, and it looks like it is healthy, with this rice pilaf and some steamed broccoli. So I would definitely keep that in my back pocket and think about that, just knowing that the salmon is over 40% fat. However, it does have some omega-3s and omega-6s in it, so it's a really great quality food to have, especially if you haven't had one. And I do try to eat salmon about once a week. So just putting that out there. I'm going to skip this. Anything with heavy sauces, if you're not making these sauces, fat-free or leaner or with skim milk or with any kind of, lower fat cream or anything like that, you can just skip all of those. Okay. The brew house bowl looks interesting, and I kept scrolling and I actually saw the brew house bowl with chicken. So obviously it's a restaurant. They want to present their food in the best possible way. However, I did read the description here, and when you look at it, I'm sorry that my picture's covering it, but it has quinoa, brown rice, some roasted red pepper, cucumbers, pickled onions. Okay, pico de gallo. All of those options that I just listed are really lean. And it does look like the chicken is grilled chicken breast, which is great because that's about 18% fat. However, look at all the sauces. So I see sour cream on here. I see a lot of feta cheese. Feta is listed here. I see homemade guacamole. So what I would do, I would actually order this, but I would ask for the guacamole, and I would ask for no sauce and no feta, or feta on the side. And then if you want a little bit of flavor there goes a long way. You can mix it in yourself, but then you're controlling the amount as opposed to your food comes out and it's saturated with all these things that you have no idea how much they used. So I would order that. I would keep that salmon in my back pocket. Now I'm going to go back to this intimidating presentation again. But I'm going to keep scrolling just to see if there's anything else. Now, they did not have a breakfast menu. if they did and they served, if you were going to go to lunch and they served until like 1 or 2 p.m., in that situation, I would see if they could do either a veggie omelet with no cheese or an egg white veggie omelet with no cheese. And I load in the vegetables and then I do a steam veggies on the side that is really lean. You can get salsa. Salsa is fat-free. You can put that on anything. It's even something great to carry with you in your purse. If you decide to order a salad, you could pre-make a fat-free dressing and put it in one of those tiny Tupperware containers and take that with you to a restaurant. I have some really good recipes for fat-free dressings, and just take them with you. Get everything else on the side. I'm still scrolling through here. There's a lot of beef options. Every single one of these is going to be over 55% fat. So even though we may be tempted here, I'm just going to tell you they are going to be very heavy in fat. So now I'm going to go to salads and I'm going to see what they've got. A lot of times salad is healthy, but it's not necessarily lean, especially when they put in all the cheeses, all the dressings, everything else. So I'm going to cut the video and I'm going to continue in the next one. Hey, Lynn, Christina again. So I had to cut that video short. I'm going to do the part 2 now. So I'm going to pick up where we left off, which is on the salads. And I'm going to scroll through here. Soup and salad. It sounds tempting, and I love soup. It's one of my favorite things. But it is going to be really, really high in fat, probably over 70% fat. And it's because they have to use a lot of cream and things like that. This chili, same thing. You know, just you can look at a lot of the toppings. I did see in the entrees a crispy chicken entree. Anything that says crispy, it means that they're topping it with fried tortilla chips or the chicken is fried itself. So again, it's not going to be a healthy, lean option. Even if they fried chicken breast, it's going to be over 80% fat. So I'm still scrolling. I mean, of course, a house salad, if you're not in the mood for something super heavy, you could top that with some grilled shrimp or grilled chicken. BJ's, the good thing is that they do have a variety of foods on their menu. I also saw in the a la carte, we'll go to that in a second. This might be, no, it's got the mozzarella. I did see a tomato salad. It didn't say fresh mozzarella, but that might be another option that you could add grilled chicken to. The strawberry field salad, I think I've had this before and I just got it without cheese. And again, I'm putting all the dressings, everything on the side and then controlling the amount that I'm using. Santa Fe salad, that's going to have a lot of fried tortilla chips in it. So I would skip that. Caesar dressing in general is extremely high in fat. So even though it sounds healthy, it has very little nutritional value for the amount of fat that's put into it. So just, you know, you get better bang for your buck going with a higher fat salmon or even that other entree that I pointed to earlier. And then finally, I wanted to go to the sides and show you this. So the sides, they have, of course, they've got the fries. They've got a baked potato. So a couple of things here. First, a fat-free loaded baked potato is one of my favorite go-tos. I make it at home, and what we do is we make potatoes. We do all the ingredients, you know, on the side. I do fat-free Greek yogurt. I do green onion. I do butter buds. And so I make it taste like it's loaded, but it's really lean. And then I put grilled chicken breast in it. You can do the same thing at a restaurant. Just get everything on the side. They're not going to have fat-free Greek yogurt to use as sour cream. So you just opt that one out and no cheese on that. But I noticed that you can order rice pilaf, you can order broccoli, you can order Brussels sprouts, and you can order asparagus and roasted vegetables. You can order all of that a la carte. So you could go with one of those other entrees that I mentioned and then just kind of mix and match your sides based on what they have on the menu. So I hope that this really helps you. I hope that this helps you stay on track. What I have found is going into it, especially in social situations, we feel so pressured to, oh, I haven't seen my girlfriends in a while. I haven't seen this family member in a while. And you just order whatever. Go in with a game plan and a backup plan. If you tell someone I have special dietary needs, they don't need to know that you're trying to stay lean and on plan for a lifestyle change. All they think is, oh, this person might have an allergy. and they will go out of their way to accommodate you if they suspect an allergy. The fact that they have gluten-free options on this menu shows that they are able to make accommodations. Now, a lot of times your waiter or waitress isn't very accommodating, but just tip really well for the ones that are helpful, smile really big, just be, very, very certain, very matter of fact in your decision, and then they usually go with it. Sometimes if they say they can't do it, then maybe ask if, do you mind asking your manager if that's a possibility? Because I really do have a dietary need, and that would really help me a lot. And then usually they're happy to accommodate. So anyway, I hope this helped you, and I look forward to your feedback, and have fun tonight, and we will talk soon.